Hello everyone, Dan K. You can do physiology more, and today is day 7, the final day of athletes and carbohydrates. So let's recap a little bit. I have talked about the types of carbohydrates. I've talked about the type of exercise you want to perform as far as fueling for more high intensity or fueling for more of a higher volume and whatnot. And there's obviously a correlation between the two. There's also some things you want to think about as well. So if you're going to do things, I actually call this stamina endurance. Some people refer to as tenacity. So if you're going to be doing any type of training that is going to involve high volume and high intensity, such as, for instance, say you're going to, excuse me, as a martial artist, I use the examples in that aspect a lot. Say I'm going to do some kicks for 20 or 30 minutes. That's going to be more high intensity. But then I'm going to go for a long run for, say, maybe an hour or more. Okay, that's high volume, and there's going to be some intensity to it as well because of the way that I run. And then when I come back, I'm going to be doing speed training. So what do we do in that situation? I just want to touch base on this real quick. Okay. Have a happy medium, okay? You want to consume more carbohydrates and more fats. You're honestly, it's all about knowing your body. Once again, know your body, know your body, know your own body, and that's how. Here's a great example. This morning, I proved something to myself last night because as those of you who have been following me this week, I mentioned briefly, I think it was in the first or second day, about how I shifted because I was consuming way too many fats, not enough carbohydrates, and I felt it, okay, which is the main reason that inspired me to make this video, okay. So one thing I realized too, even though I've been increasing my carbohydrates, a lot of times when you increase your carbohydrate consumption, your body will shift to primarily burning your carbohydrates for fuel in most instances. And then once again, it depends on your own physiology or your own body. However, one thing that I did is I consumed a decent amount of carbohydrates yesterday, more than what I had previously before I made this shift. And here's the point I'm getting at, okay? It did not, and here's how I'll explain why. It did not, yesterday with the way that I ate, did not shift to carbohydrate burn because I could feel it the way that my training was. Today, I could feel it. It was more of a fat-burning zone and state and whatnot. And then the only thing I did different is I consumed more carbohydrates, yes, but I did what I normally have been doing, is drinking just a little bit of almond milk as well as some mixed nuts, not before bed, but a few hours before I go to sleep and whatnot, and make sure that my body has fully digested that and did not consume anything else. Especially, I did not consume any carbohydrates other than the small amount of almond milk that I consumed with my mixed nuts, and I felt great. Not only did I feel great, I could feel the difference as opposed to if I was to, say, drink a larger amount of almond milk or have a little bit of carbs with that, okay? Now, I'm going to do my own trial and error. I want you all to do your own trial and error, and once again, know your body, know your body, know your body. I cannot emphasize that enough, to know your own body. That is the single most important thing. People ask me, what's your secret? What's your secret to being lean and healthy and staying strong and fit? I don't really have a secret, but if I was to have a so-called secret, it is knowing my own body, staying consistent, creating momentum, and keeping the momentum going. The number one thing, knowing my own body. So get to know your own body. Okay, so now let's get to the good stuff. I want to talk a little, I want to touch base on one more key concept, and that is the aspect of focusing on how you eat. So you hear lots of different things. You hear, 1-2 meals a day, 7 meals throughout the day. It's going to depend on your lifestyle. Yes, if you have blood sugar issues, it's probably better to consume moderate sizes of meals, maybe only 2 or 3 times a day. But if you don't have issues like that, and especially if you're an athlete, you got to be fueling throughout the day. Doesn't mean you have to eat every hour on the hour, 2-3 hours. Just base it on your activity levels, and then once again, know your own body. And then pick those specific types of carbohydrate fuels, fat fuels, that's going to agree with your body. By that trial and error. One thing I'm going to recommend, check out a book, Eating for Your Blood Type. I strongly recommend it. I am O negative. We have the highest, most sensitivity to foods, grains, to foods and other things, especially grains. All right? Now, use it as a guide, because it says in there that eggs, most O blood types, don't respond well to eggs. I do. I just make sure I consume free-range eggs, and I eat 2 to 4 whole eggs every single day. Okay, so with that, also, if you're an O blood type, O negative, O positive, the only difference is O negative tends to be more sensitive to foods and whatnot. It kind of sucks, but hey, guess what? Keeps me healthy. Hopefully, it'll keep you healthy if you follow this. Okay, Also, O blood types have a higher demand for calcium because our blood is more acidic, so we need that calcium to combat that. We also have a higher demand for protein because our blood is more acidic, okay? The thing is, know your own body, find out your blood type, and follow that as a guide, not an exact science, and do your own trial and error. Yes, it's going to be hard. Sure as hell ain't going to be easy, but if you want that health, if you want everything that goes along with it, you got to be pushing yourself. Okay, so let's go into the challenge. Magic number 5. I want you to pick 5 foods, not only 5 foods. I want you to pick 5 foods. I want you to pick 5 carbohydrate sources and 5 fat sources as healthy as possible. Remember, with the carbohydrates, fruits and vegetables, then you can consume some grains, but make sure they have a fibrous content such as granola, such as bran flakes. If you can have wheat, unfortunately I can't. Okay, things like that. 5 carbohydrate sources. Then I want you to pick 5 fat sources. Now, what I want, and fat sources such as mixed nuts, real butter, meats, even whole milk. Whole milk is actually a good source of fat. Let me touch base on one more. Oils. Olive oil extra virgin. There actually is a brand called Pompeian that actually has one. It's called the Smooth. It is designed for stir frying and sauteing. It has a higher heat. I can't remember what the terminology is, but higher cooking temperature to it. Okay. So that's what I want you to take the 5 carbohydrate sources, the 5 fat sources, and what I want you to do is I want you to write these down. Write these down on a piece of paper. 5 carbs over here, 5 fat sources over here. I want you to take those and I want you to make yourself a meal plan. Now, I'm not asking you to follow this and set up yourself a plan every single day. I just want you to do this for at least a few days just to get a good concept, just to get a visual so that you can help yourself and you can become the best person that you want to be, the most fit, the most healthy, and perform at your best. Let's get out there, stay motivated, believe in yourself. Believe you can do it, and believe that you deserve it. Let's get out there. Let's go. Smash punch. Kick that like button. Just don't break it. Let's get out there and do something. Do more than what you did yesterday. Pick yourself up today. Get your ass out there and grind. And push yourself. Let's go.